guys, welcome back to another episode of the Prosperous Soul series. We're gonna do something a little different in this episode. Curls and Authenticity, episode 6. Just take it in. Listen to the birds sing. So I'm so excited to welcome you guys into this episode. Now, if you have not watched episodes 1 through 5, I encourage you to. It is currently on IGTV and my YouTube channel, so go on ahead and check that out. But if you guys have been with me since episode 1, welcome to episode 6. And I figured, since we're talking about authenticity today and curls, I figured I'd walk you to a couple of locations where I have taken walks on my own to begin the journey of figuring out who I am. A topic that has been requested by so many people is this topic on authenticity, and then we'll get to my curls a little bit later. And I feel like it's because so many people crave the realness of the world. We're living in a world where people are okay with being fake, and they're so okay with having to put up a front, having to put up a mask to feel like they belong. And guys, that was me. That was me for so many years. I was raised to be me. I was raised to be the best me. So I think what ended up happening in my journey is that I was a serious people pleaser. Like, I just wanted everybody to love me, and I wanted everybody to like me, and I wanted to belong. So I had really great friends growing up because I was still able to be me. I think what ended up happening to me, again, this is my story, but what ended up happening to me is because I grew up in poverty and on welfare, one of the biggest attractions to me was, how can I be wealthy? How can I live this lifestyle that I saw on TV? How can I give my mom everything that she gave up, so that way basically I can pay her back? And I just wanted to be wealthy. So when I started my first business, I was in an environment where the mindset was, if you want to be wealthy like these people, you have to act like these people. You want to live a life like these people, we need to do exactly what they're doing, so that way we can be successful as well. And I took that very literal, okay? Like, because again, of the way that my mom raised me was, you want to be the best, you can be whatever advice that somebody, a coach, a mentor gives you, you want to be the number one student. So because I had that mindset, I literally took it to the next level, and people took advantage of that. One of the biggest things that I heard was, nobody in the environment that I was in that was considered wealthy and successful had curly hair. So one of the things that I always heard is that if you have natural hair, just make sure you kind of like, you know, just like fix it up. Just like fix it up. Like, that's what I always heard. So I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to deal with the backlash. I didn't want to deal with the weird look. So I straightened it. And I straightened my hair for years and years and years because I wanted to belong. I wanted to be wealthy like these people. And none of these people that I was around had curly hair. Or like, people would say, ladies, get your hair done. And those were the days when I would have my curly hair out. So, you know, I dealt with that for a very long time. Another big thing that I dealt with was called Michelle is too much. And it's funny because my too muchness actually helped me build a very successful network marketing business, because I attracted so many people because of my positivity and my excitement towards what I was building. And so many people just didn't have that naturally, and it just became a threat to them. So I was actually told to like low it down, like don't be too much, be this way, be that way. So I want to share with you guys the steps that I took to be able to live a life of personal freedom, live a life of authenticity, of realness, and happiness and fulfillment. The first thing that I did was I became very honest with myself. I built a very successful business, and when my business started to fall apart, one of the biggest things that they tell you is fake it till you make it. Even when your life and business is falling apart, just fake it, because people are looking up to you, you're an influence, and you're a specific rank in business or in life. So I put on a mask for a while. My business was falling apart, and so was I, but I had to fake it and pretend like I was making money when I wasn't. I had to fake it and pretend that I was happy and enjoying the grind when I wasn't. So the first thing that I did was I became very honest with myself. I took off the mask, I looked at my business, and I said, you know what? This is where I'm at. I'm broken. I'm not happy. My finances are deteriorating. I'm in debt. I'm losing a lot of friends. My business is falling apart. My family life is falling apart. This is where I am. And that is okay. That's okay. And I had to accept where I was at that time and just take where I was at and take the steps necessary to just get better every day. Just get better every day. The second step that I took is that I stopped taking advice from people who it looked like they were happy and successful. When you get really close to them, they were actually very miserable. So I stopped taking advice and asking for permission, and I started to grow a close relationship with God. I talk about that a lot, guys, but I know I sound like a freaking broken record, but it's true, okay? Like, I stopped asking for permission. I stopped asking, hey, is this okay? Hey, can I do this? Hey, can I do that? There's a difference between asking permission and seeking perspective. There's a huge difference. And I understand perspective now, but for such a long time I asked for permission from people that were not even validated. So it's a huge difference. So just listen to him and start walking the path that he created for me instead of me trying to create my own path. So I started to pray. I started to read books that will help me with my internal healing, my mindset, the renewal of my heart, the renewal of my mind, the cleansing of my heart. Oh man, yeah. And I took that next step. So second thing that I would recommend is just growing a very relationship with God, understanding how God speaks to you. God speaks to me through dreams and life experiences. And what happens is that my mindset started to shift for me to understand who I am, whose I am. So I started to see life from a different lens. And I started to see life from a different perspective. What used to excite me didn't excite me. What used to get me mad didn't get me mad anymore. And what made me happy just didn't make me happy anymore. That gave me a lot of peace, honestly. That gave me a lot of peace. That gave me a lot of fulfillment and happiness. The third thing is that I started to eliminate toxic friendships, relationships, and things. Toxic relationships. I mean, I had crucial conversations with people that just didn't serve me, that were actually abusing me, many emotionally, spiritually, financially, and I just let them go. I just said, hey, this friendship is just not working anymore. I wish you the best, and it's time to go. I got rid of toxic things. For me, I had an addiction on sex. Just to be real with you guys, I had a very big addiction because I just didn't love myself. So I found love through sexual intercourse. So I went on a celibacy journey, and I said, I'm not having sex anymore. Like, I'm done. You do not need the D to be happy. You do not need it. You need Jesus Christ, okay? So I let that go. I let go of the worship habits that I had towards money. and I worshiped God, and I started seeing money as a tool, not as a thing that defined who I truly am. So I let that go. I just started letting things go that just didn't serve me anymore. So just figure out what that is for you. And then the last thing is that I started to do the things that gave me joy. Okay. One of the things that people would tell me is you need to build your business, and when you become wealthy, you can do all the things that you want to do. And that's the biggest bullshit I ever heard. Me focusing on my business day in, day out for years and years and years is so draining. So I started to do the things that bring me joy. I remember working for a company and they were really awesome. They gave me tickets to concerts, so I started going to concerts. I started watching YouTube videos. I don't know if anybody likes YouTube videos, but I love YouTube. There's so many awesome people on YouTube that make me laugh, and I learned so many cool things on there. I started to sing. For those of you guys that don't know, I love to sing. I love to write music. I love to do all that, and actually one of my goals is to hire a vocal coach eventually, and also start learning a new instrument. So I started to sing. I started to listen to music. I was listening to podcasts like all day, every day, and that ruined my freaking mental health, I'm telling you. I started spending time with my mom. You know, I know a lot of people see how awesome our relationship is, but I didn't talk to her for 6 months, and I'm not proud of that. But again, environment, people influencing you to just focus on money and wealth and not your family. And of course, I started to take care of my body. I just embarked on an incredible fitness journey that I'm still on. It's funny because when I started to eliminate all the things that were toxic in my life, my healing became a journey of just joy. And my confidence started to increase like crazy. And I started to just be so much happier and not feel guilty, and not feel low about myself, not feel like I'm not worthy, like I'm just a nobody. Oh my gosh, my confidence just started to increase like crazy. So with all that being said, last thing I want to say is that it is so freeing to just be you. When you focus on eliminating those things, when you focus on digging deep within God, I started to set major boundaries for myself. I started saying no more to things that just didn't fit with my values. I started to say yes to the things that did fit with my values, and I didn't feel guilty because I figured out who I am, whose I am. I identified my values, and it became so easy to set those boundaries. Phone on do not disturb by midnight. No meetings on Sundays. Little things like that literally changed so much for me, and it just brought me so much joy and so much happiness. And I feel like when you start with yourself, everything else in your life will eventually fall into place for you to be able to experience the peace, the happiness, and the fulfillment that everybody truly is craving for. So with that being said, where am I now? I can't even begin to tell you guys how free I feel. I'm free of debt. I'm free of a 9-to-5 job. I am free from systems that put me in a box for so many years. I am free from people manipulating and controlling me. I am just free. And it all started with those steps that I took to leading and living an authentic life. Letting my curls out, being who I truly am, not having to wear so much makeup to hide my acne. Little things like that, you know, not having to straighten my hair to be a part of something, not having to date just to feel like I belong because all my friends were married. I just feel so free. And I really do wish and pray this freedom upon everybody, but it's gonna take some work. It's gonna take some honesty. It's gonna take some authenticity. It's funny because if you wanna live a life of authenticity, you have to be real with yourself. It starts with you, and everything else will fall into place. It's been so freeing not to put up a front anymore. It's been so freeing to just be me and being real. And it's so funny how so many people have reached out. So many people have called me, thanking me, and so many people just relate. And I just feel so good about that. And I wish and pray this freedom upon everybody. And I pray that you take those steps that it takes to get there. So a couple of book recommendations. Of course, guys, I have to tell you about some books that can help you out with that. The first one is The 7 Rocks of Life by Stephen Mazurko. He's actually he's a very good friend of mine who also has been experiencing the same things, and he's awesome. And I cannot wait for you guys to read that book. That book rocks my world. I have been recommending that book to a lot of people. So 7 Rocks of Life is awesome. But there is a book that I'm reading currently that I think is awesome. Many people have heard about it, which is The 4 Agreements. I think that book is a very basic level to begin the journey of personal freedom, and I highly recommend it. It is perfect booked for somebody who is beginning the journey of authenticity, of freedom, and of happiness. So I love you guys so much. We're gonna wrap up this video right here. Check out this incredible view. Life is awesome. God is awesome. Sometimes I can't even believe, like, this is my neighborhood. I can't believe that I don't have to worry about gangbangers in any corner anymore. I grew up in the Bronx. I don't have to worry about rats or roaches running around. And again, if you live in these areas, it's totally fine. This is just my story. This is where I came from. I'm just very grateful that God has provided for me to live in this beautiful area. So love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week on our next episode. Have a great day.